Hi YouTube. Just thought I'd give you a quick tutorial on some upgrades that I've done for the ECX Temper. It's kind of a new crawler that you can buy down at your local hobby store. Out of the box, bang for the buck, tough to beat. $130 at your local hobby store, and it comes with just about everything you need. Full electronics. Everything is waterproof from the servo to the receiver box. I've ran the thing through water countless times and I've had absolutely no issues with it whatsoever. Really impressed with that. As far as its crawling capabilities out of the box, average Joe hobby guy is going to be very impressed. I am not a competition crawler by any stretch, but I could just tell from all my years in RC there were a few things that needed to be adjusted on this rig to really get its true potential. One of the things that I did right out of the gate was I changed the tires and wheels. The tires and wheels that come on the rig aren't bad, but they're not great. Like I said, average Joe hobby guy is going to be probably quite fine with them. These, believe it or not, actually are beadlock wheels. However, it's a proprietary tire and wheel system, and by that I mean the actual bead that fits into the wheel is really shallow, whereas a normal tire is a little bit deeper. So the problem that you have is when you try and fit the new, for instance, Mickey Thompson's that I got, when you try and fit that bead into the wheel, it starts mashing down and it comes out when you try and put the ring back on. So the solution to that would be to get some scissors and cut the bead down on the tire. I don't have time for that. A little bit too much effort on my part. It was a little bit easier for me to just go down to the hobby store and pick up some new axial wheels and Mickey Thompson tires, and that's what I've got on the rig now. Huge difference just in the tires. Makes the rig a lot more capable. The other thing out of the box, it's really light. As you can tell, 1/18 scale, there's not much to it. And with the tires and wheels, the original tires and wheels, I run this thing in a lot of water and I found it becoming a boat real quickly, getting carried down the creek or the river. So, and along with that, weighting the front tires will keep it kind of a little bit more settled, but it's going to obviously help its climbing capabilities. So right out of the box, I would say to you, new tires and wheels, and definitely weight at least the front tires and wheels to give you a little bit more climbing capability and just to hold the rig to the ground a little bit better. The other thing that's really kind of poor out of the box is the steering. So what I'm doing here today, I don't know if you can see this or not, I'm trying to upgrade the spindles and the hubs. I've already done one side, I'm doing the other right now. It's a real easy process, to be honest with you. There's just two screws, top and bottom, for the hub, and then the spindle mounts on that. You got two screws here, top and bottom. You've got to pop out the bearings on the inside and the outside, and then you just got to reconnect your steering linkage. I got to chop that bolt down a little bit or put in a shorter one. That's the original bolt for the original spindle that came with it. As you can see, it's a little bit bigger than the aluminum piece. So I'm in the process of doing that right now. I'm going to go ahead and finish that up, and then when I got it all finished, I will pop back on here and give you an update. Hi YouTube, we're back. I've got both the spindle and the hub on both sides. Hope you can see those. The setup works pretty good. One of the things I'll tell you that I kind of did myself, your steering linkage here, make sure you mount it on the top, not the bottom. There are no directions for the ECX, so I was just in a hurry taking it apart, and then once you get it all put back together, you look at it and you go, something's wrong. So just make sure you're paying attention. The steering linkage goes on the top on both sides and everything's good. The reason again I'm doing this is the steering on this is not great. A lot of that may be the servo. I've ran Spectrum before, I've never had any problems with the servo. Could be the servo horn. I've ran plastic, haven't had a problem with it. So and eventually I may change out the servo horn, see if that'll increase my steering a little bit. The other really cool option that you can have with this car is there is another servo mount that you can buy from ECX that fits right on the back. Exact same servo mount as the front, fits on the back. They actually already have a steering linkage in and ready to go. The only thing that you would need to buy is this linkage to the servo. That's it. And you can buy these online from ECX. So you just replace this short linkage that's just basically static right now. It's just sitting there with the longer anodized linkage for an additional servo that you can put on the back. That may be something I do in the future, and I'm also going to be replacing the rear hubs as well, just so it looks cool. I'm really not going to do much anything, but anyway, the spindles and the hubs, again, just to see if I can get a little bit more out of my steering on this rig. I can't say enough about this. I really can't. You know, it definitely has some shortcomings out of the box, but for $130, it's just unbelievable what you get for this. I've ran it multiple times, and it's probably been more in the water than it's actually been on land. And one of the things I'm really impressed with on this rig is the electronics and the components that they put in here. When they say they're waterproof, they're waterproof. This thing has been floating down the river, probably 2 or 3 times, 30 seconds, almost a minute one time, completely submerged, upside down. The only thing that was keeping it afloat was the tires and wheels, and the thing ran like a champ when I put it back on land. So if you're a little bit scared like I am when you hear the word waterproof coming from a ready to run, don't be with this rig. At least this one anyway. I mean, it's unbelievable. I've had, like I said, other rigs, and you run them in a puddle or you run them in a creek, and maybe good for a little while, and then all of a sudden it just gets really sketch on you. Not this rig. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and put the tires and wheels back on, and when I get that done, I'll open up the video again, just kind of give you a quick synopsis of what I've done, and we'll go from there. Alright, everything back together. So just to recap, the reason we did the upgrades to the front was just to try and get a little bit more out of our steering. We'll see how that goes. Tires and wheels were upgraded to give a little bit more grip out there. Weighted the front wheels to keep the truck a little bit more firmly planted, give it a little bit better crawling capability, and we'll kind of see how that goes in the future. Like I said, 4-wheel steering's an option if I don't get what I want, and possibly replacing the servo horn, maybe even the servo. Although I really hate to give up this Spectrum servo because it's been a champ in the water. Again, I can't say enough about the vehicle as a whole. If you have $130 laying around, don't know if you really want to get into crawling or the hobby for that matter, it's money well spent. You're going to get a great vehicle out of the box. Those crawlers that like a little bit more performance, it doesn't take much to get this up and running, to where you can just get out on the weekend and don't feel like getting everything together and just grab this thing and go out and go have some fun. ECX has put together a really high quality product. Really happy with it. If you have any questions, please post them down below. I'll do my best to answer them. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe. Catch you later.